Nobody talked about climate change in 1990 in Bangladesh. That was not a subject that we discussed at all. It was all about reductions in poverty, and population is increasing. We've got a big challenge on our hand. There are changes in the weather that are occurring over time that are probably could be attributed to climate, which means a slow onset of the seasons, erratic rainfall, not knowing exactly when it's going to rain or when it's going to stop going to rain, or getting too much rain at one time. Everybody's talking about climate change. The other thing that we often hear about in Bangladesh is the severity of storms. And Bangladesh is not unique, but it's particularly vulnerable to bad weather events, cyclones, very significant storms coming in from the ocean because it is so low in elevation. In fact, much of the land in the southwest is below sea level at high tide. So it's a particularly important aspect of climate change. The weather patterns have changed since I was here even that many years ago. Salinity is a topic that is discussed almost every day in the papers, in discussions regarding the agricultural livelihoods of people that are living in the areas. Farmers here are challenged by a number of things, whether it's a social challenge, whether it's an economic challenge, credit, poverty. It is going to be a challenge for countries like Bangladesh, and it's a challenge for two ways. One, just because the country is so low, and two, it's just so populated. To say it's going to be easy would be wrong. It's going to be very, very difficult to adjust for that. I was responsible for leading reestablishing of water resources for the area, and then later on planting rice. Now we had to identify saline-tolerant rice varieties to move into there, because when the ocean came in, all of the land became saline. The ponds are saline, the fields are saline. We've learned how to manage water better so that the salinity may come in the dry season, but in the wet season we can manage it so that we can push the salinity out and have rice or other types of agricultural crops. We have quite small farmers here, and rather than a commercial production where you have a large farmer who is depending upon agriculture for their only source of income, which you might find in a Western country, and somebody has 500,000, 10,000 hectares, what we're going to have is somebody that has a small amount of land, a high-value crop, and another source of income that's outside the farm. Okay, and I think we're going to see that develop even more, and then using some of the income that they get from outside the farm, invested on the farm into crops that have a high market value and which take a bit more investment.